Afternoon, everybody. I have two Lenormand Reverie messages of the day today, as well as the union read for the twin flames and the general read for the twin flames. And we're going to roll the die as well and do my oracle cards as usual. But let's start with 3 deep breaths, please. Let's go ahead and take that deep breath. Get that oxygen all the way to the tippy toes and to the top of your crown, root to tip, the tip of your ears, the tip of your fingers. Take another deep breath. I love you, you are well. Let go of all of the blocks, stuck energy inside of you, all the trauma. One more deep breath. Sending lots of love and blessings to everybody. Okay, so I'm going to give you the messages of the day first from the Lenormand Reverie. They're 2 separate questions for the message of the day. The first one was done last night and the second one was done this morning. So this first one was done at 8:44. Today is the 13th of I went to say September, but July. It's July 13th. And today is the day of, where are we? So today's it's the 13th, so it's the death card in transition, but we also have the 25/7, which is the Knight of Wands. So so we have death and transformation, and the Knight of Wands, who's really get up and go, right? Getting errands done, very passionate about what they're doing in a very transformative way. So this first read was done at 8:44 last night, and it was very interesting. I'd watched kind of a documentary movie called The Fourth Kind about abductions that actually happened back in 2000. And you might want to watch them because a lot of the film clips are the actual events of the psychologists filming the patients who are levitating and being abducted, that kind of energy. So I just wanted to bring that up because that energy is definitely coming in to be looked at, as well as Cinnabar Stone was coming up and Sumerian history. So at 8:44, this read was done. 8 is the Strength card. 44 is the 4 of Cups, the grounding and integrating and mastering of love, especially receiving of love. And there's a common thread here of the underlying energy being the mountain or the challenge. The first card out for the first read, this read, was the Compass, or having direction, focus, the never-changing goal. Like the masculine energy is always very focused, right? That's why they're always focused on doing, as opposed to feeling, like the feminine. The mother bear pushing the owl thing. And it was very interesting because the owls in the fourth kind is what these patients were seeing before the abductors would come in to get them. It was like a warning that they're here. So it's very interesting that the owl came up. And by the way, I started watching the movie at 8:08. And then I started this message at 8:44, which 44 is 8. So it's also 8:8. And then that came up again as well. So Lionsgate's definitely coming up in some very interesting energies. All right, so the mother bear is pushing the owl thing, looking closer, listening over and over to decipher what happens spiritually with the fox going public with the key, the gift of the power man to burn twin bridges and become 2 as 1, or forge a new path of a timeline collapse, and ETs, galactic dreams with hope to get closer to the truth. At night be gentle with self due to multiple faces. And that could be perhaps some of you are doing masks at night. Communication or a letter of spirituality and experiments. So not only experiments on being abducted and alien experimenting, but we do experimentation on animals, mice, foxes, and dogs, and other animals publicly known, on an adventure to find the key code through higher learning and institutions, a gift of the dog that allowed the power man to lead them. Your loyal, faithful friend led you to abundance, but burned bridges, diving deep to discover the emotions of having followed the powers that be instead of following your own intuition. That like a mama bear, they would have your best interest at heart. But tweets and talk and power in numbers and the times you trusted those wise old owls, the loving lady with hopes and dreams of discovery about our galactic family, the family tree. Cancer season also is coming up again, which we're now in, and 7/17 is coming up as a significant date. It's the mid-cycle exactly. And and also being home with a letter of a spiritual nature or some kind of communication. 2 as 1, trusting caregivers to do the right thing and follow their lead. The cross to bear, what's eating at you publicly, deliverance of the storks nesting, with the breakthrough, looking up at how wonderful to ride to find your freedom from the serpent and the poison apple and the institution. Perhaps, and remember the institution is also the nut house, right? Actually a gift of Disneyland or Disney World and the Crazy Eights, the dance of the twins, sealing the deal, taking a gamble when being led by the power man with secret knowledge of abundance and burning twin bridges with with one man's pie in the sky ideas and distant travels and needing the whip, the rod and staff, the numbers, free thinking, but also needing discipline to ground that free thinking and allow it to grow with sunshine, like between the mother and child, a healthy tree, allowing the child to figure things out for themselves, to find their way home, to have a breakthrough or one-to-one kind, or of a one-to-one kind, the power lady with a cross to bear, and an aversion to the powers that be, and the mice crawling up the curtains in public, the loving man nesting after deliverance and a free ride, and then the anchor being cut by the serpent in the apple tree of the powers that be and their quote-unquote gifts, toxic gifts, being paid to do what they say, medical companies perhaps with sales parties and incentives, the luck of the draw regarding getting a loyal worker under you who will actually do what you want them to do. And then again, it's that energy of like the abductees keeping you in fear, right? Because you can't, unless your energy, your vibration is very low, they're not going to come in. Their job is to keep you in fear so that they can approach you and do what they want with you. If you're not in fear, they can't have that same power over you. But it's allowing you to lead, be able to discern the difference between good and bad, knowledge and ego and secrets, the abundance by burning bridges, and in the end, the ring of fire, the circle of trust, is between you and source, not you and anyone, right? Because it's all from within. And that was in 1019, which is the Wheel of Fortune and the Sun. And then this second read here from this morning, the underlying energy was the book with the mountain beneath. The mountain was there again. And then the first card out were the steps or the choice of path along with the mask or the 3 faces in this deck. So challenged by secret knowledge or electronic exchange of information, cracking codes to figure things out. Some days are just there's more interference than others. That's all. 2 is 1, a choice of path, discerning the masks to get past, the door, the gate, the portal, or the threshold, which entrance to use or choose. Writing, email, letters, or official communication, a burden requiring the right timing and kid gloves. The mid-mood cycle here, and sweetness perhaps, kindness and patience during the mothering or homebody time here in Cancer. Journey or good news, coming in to a child or about something new is delivered, or a child got a lashing for playing instead of doing their work, or a delivery that wasn't done with care or written up. needing to pay closer attention to the details, or needing an autopsy or doctor's visit to correct something, to find the issue and correct it or remove it. Why did something go wrong, or why did they get sick or pass? Was there abuse here, or punishment, or a warning? Cracking the whip with rod and staff, impatience with death, endings, or transitions and the analysis of it. And then hope and discovery, or depression and or arrogance, shining your light on the snake in the tree where the storks nest, and will their venom affect the storks and their new child? The need to discern which information is correct, to cut away what doesn't resonate, and burn the connection. But burning bridges is a burden, a spiritual cleansing. Burning sage, for example, an energetic cleansing with family in a gentle way, and then the powers that be, by thinking first of the child. The fox of the establishment being impatient to free from harm, with illness and death, to get to a breakthrough after research and serious adverse events results and tests. The breakthroughs are with the power ladies and loving ladies joining forces, the star power and the ability to close the circuit or seal the deal, to transmute the toxins, to purify the nest, to be in a fortunate place. Journeys with family, children at schools and institutions, committing to cutting through the BS out there. The burning of masks and gloves, and being outside in nature is always good, a gift, at 12:15, which is the hangman and the devil. Children impatient to go out there back to school and explore their world and discover for themselves about the serpent in the Garden of Eden, the bad apple that needs to go, the weakest link, or no man left behind. The couple letting go of what no longer resonates, emotional attachments that don't serve them, purification of their spirituality, of the family tree and the powers that be, the impatient, the abused, the entombed, like a prisoner, prodded and poked, examined, wanting to find the key to their freedom. Again, the breakthroughs coming from the power women and the loving woman. Stars and healers to join forces for good luck, plant medicine, and good wishes or positive intent. Committed to deciphering information, cutting out the crap, and being committed to the loving man with burned bridges and burdens of the past, perhaps cutting the letters or communication, or perhaps those communications were cutting in nature. The loving man taking a risk towards spirituality, or that gentle touch, or perhaps a white glove test, or finding that perfect balance and not going to extremes. The loving man with a ring and a rose, taking a risk with flowers or a delivery of a gift to the home. The family to the establishment or institution, and the mother with good news for the child. But are those things or gifts? Are they burdens or punishments or prisons for the receivers of them? The gift of study or school, the gift of being led to your freedom and or breakthroughs, the gift of flowers to home that were picked from a garden so lovingly planted by the person who wanted to bring good news and something new, a gift of a home that you can then leave for a big journey to see new horizons, cutting ties to being tied down, collapsing timelines or electromagnetic field to anchor in the flying ships, the galactic friends from Venus and Mars to help us with our own wise counsel, or twins to decide what to do about pests tainting the apples and clearing through our electromagnetic field, or chewing through our electromagnetic field. Should we ingest the poison or surround ourselves with plants, clover and mint coming up here? The masculine wisdom and the feminine loving intuition, the pairing the two owls with mice or two storks with snakes, or storks are two women and owls are two men, or swans are male and female partnerships here, or like the rod and the staff, like the indigo crystal and rainbow children, the warriors, the builders, and the pure love children. Some discover and protect, some heal and build, and some just radiate pure love, or perhaps are raising their children. The loyalty of the cup and the ring of the fire, the scythe or the Excalibur of the truth, manifesting then communication that's clear, being authentically you with truth and love is the key to abundance and flow, ease and grace, sunshine and full exposure. At 1252, which is the Hangman and the Queen of Swords, full exposure of pushy people and the powers that be, going public, pushing for a more natural public square or forum without controllers and childish grown-ups, coming together in the parks, the farms, the sheds, watersheds, horses and ships, to discuss deep emotions on how to ground, anchor, and release self from fear of death and be free. Transiting through the labyrinth of death and rebirth without actually dying, navigating the cyclone or the Tootsie Pop that takes a licking but keeps on ticking to get to the juicy center, the vortex, the 0 point, the present moment, or peace on earth. By closer examination or doing shadow work, or instead of expanding and contracting, just reflecting both, breaking through from dark to light and collapsing all timelines into the now moment, each's arrival in their own lane, in their own time. You can climb over the bushes into another's lane, but there may be repercussions for that, or an accident, or a clash to clean up. Follow your true north, 2 wise birds of guidance, with luck of the clover, crimson and clover, over and over. And then the crimson clover plant came up. 2 as 1, a natural protection. So those were the 2 messages of the day. So now we're going to go back to the union read here. Okay. So the union read was done at 2:52. 2 is the High Priestess. 52 is again the Queen of Swords. So that's coming up multiple times already. The union read is 4D, 5D, and 6D. And we have the underlying energy was the Hangman, the central energy was the 10 of Wands, and the closing energy, the 4 of Cups. Hanging out with a right knee block, burdened climbing from dark to light, to leave the wounded warrior behind, and then stranded on a rock in the ocean looking up at the star or the orb. The incoming Divine Feminine here, we had the 10 of Cups, the Transition or Death card, and the 4 of Wands. Emotional fulfillment of the family in transitioning home. Hanging out, building bridges to light, tunnels too, from under the castle. The end of an emotional cycle to transition to union, leaving an offering at the gate, or perhaps some watermelon, seeing a new perspective of when it rains, it pours, and causes a huddle, letting their guards down, transforming the connection at home. In the 4D here was Ascension of the World, the 6 of Cups, the loving children hugging each other, and the 7 of Cups of standing up for yourself, rising above the drama. The Divine Feminine taking charge to complete a cycle as the genie in the bottle, and the Divine Masculine taking steps to step it up or level up with flow. Around and around we go. Where it ends up, nobody knows. And bridging with the 6 of Cups, a big hug, hugging each other. The 5D here at 307, which is the Empress and the Chariot, we have the 4 of Pentacles, the Divine Masculine's heart, the 10 of Wands, the Atlas energy of the weight of the world, and then the 8 of Cups of walking away and within. The Divine Feminine with the Divine Masculine's heart on her side, the Divine Masculine walking away and within, bridging by leaving the wounded warrior behind on the steps to Mount Everest, that heaven in the sky. 6D is the 3 of Wands, Indigo, and then the Knight of Swords, as the Divine Feminine present or gift, gifting or gifted in the moment, their heart open to flame, and the Divine Masculine Knight of Swords sending a message in a bubble on a rock under a tree, but not in the family. Bridging with Indigo proposal, and the Divine Feminine complete with the Divine Masculine's heart in Crystal Cave and Fields of Fire, the Divine Masculine spiraling up step by step to level up where land meets sea, to the 6D to find a rock and a message to thee. So the bridge is coming up as the 6 of Cups being love. in each other's arms, able to leave the wounded warrior behind to meet at the light, a diamond light proposal. The outgoing divine masculine here is the Page of Cups, the innocent one, the Knight of Wands, that passionate, moving one, and the Ace of Cups, which is self-love, spiritual love, and new love. The Page of Cups, innocent and open-hearted, to the Knight of Wands, whose cup runneth over, leaving her stranded in her own turbulent emotions, only receiving 6D communication from he, rock to rock, each the sword in the stone. Or sending a bubble. She's receiving the light. So he sends the bubble, she's receiving it as light. A reminder they are sharing the same air and clouds and stars at night. Hugs and kisses inspire him to ascend and walk to the beach and a rock, and her to open her heart even more. She dealing with emotional cycles, and he wisdom at home, both of them at home. He with the love, well, she's dealing with the wisdom of the emotional cycles and home. He's with the love of being open to one's own passions. And then the overwhelm of the heart, where then all of a sudden they realize what it feels like to be in your heart all the time, because all of a sudden their heart wells up. The divine feminine is the Capricorn, Scorpio, and Pisces energy, and no court cards there. Divine masculine had no majors on his side, with the Knight of Swords, Page of Cups, and the Knight of Wands on his side. Between the masculine and feminine was Gemini or Virgo energy and a burden lifted. The number came out to 57, which is the Three of Swords, and that's separation or heartbreak energy. The horizontal pillars came out 7, 22, and 28, which is the Chariot, the Fool, and the Twin Flames of the Two of Wands. And the vertical pillars came out as 10, 4, 7, 16, 15, and 5, which are the Wheel, the Emperor, the Chariot, the Tower, the Devil, and the Hierophant. The message coming out, moving powerfully and quickly on the Fool's journey to the Twin Flame, in separation or dealing with heart stress. So there could be separation on one end and then moving into the journey, or just dealing with that energy of being apart. And then destined Emperor in a chariot with a sudden event or epiphany or sex, devilish Hierophant in separation, or destined high vibe synchronicities, epiphanies, or detox and change, freedom, and being committed to self. So now we have the Twin Flame read in front of you, which is the 7-deck read. For those of you not familiar, it's a lot of energy. Don't force it to fit if some of the messages don't resonate with you. If you want something very personalized to you, you can always check my information below or my website, which is twinflames3344.com. And so here we have the read in front of you. I'm actually going to turn the light on for that so you can see the cards a little bit better. So the first energy I was getting, and this was at 3:33 when I cut the deck, I was getting clean sweep. At 3:36, which then is the 36 of the 10 of Wands, again the Atlas energy, trying to keep his head above water. And then at 3:39, with the 39 being the Knight of Cups, I was getting, it's like taking candy from a baby. And then crystals was coming up in S, which is crystals as being like Christ or crying stalls or purging. And again, the S of Sophia. So the read was completed at 3:55, which is the 3 of the Empress and the 55 of the Truth, the Ace of Swords, Excalibur. And the major arcana here were Transition, which is death, Luna or the moon, Strength, the Star, Reason, which is the Emperor, and Indigo, which is the Magician. Before the read, we had Guidance, which is the Hierophant, the Great Wheel or the Wheel of Fortune, and then the Chariot. There was 1 cup, 2 swords, 2 pentacles. And the court cards were the Queen of Cups and the Knight of Swords. After the read was the Queen of Wands and the Page of Wands, who were both reversed, by the way. So those could be 2 kids as well, brother and sister, or, sister and sister, brother and brother. Well, it's a queen, so at least 1 girl. It could be 2 girls or a boy and a girl, or it could be a mother and child as well. We had 22, so 2 twos in the read, as well as 10-10, keeping your vibration very high. 22 is the Fool. And also 5 and 8 were very significant. 5 is the Hierophant, 8 is the Strength card and the Dance. Also 25 came up with the Knight of Wands again, the 58 of the 4 of Swords, the 5D connection, or resting and reflecting, meditating. And also we had the 23 of the King of Wands, the 45 of the Five of Cups, the grieving process, the 58, and then the 810, and also 210. So that's 0 behind 21, which is completion of the world, and 0 behind 81, which is the end of karma around the world for me. So the code line here was financial discipline, parenting, and environment, emphasizing the E in environment. So the messages here, we also have the number 122 coming up, which can be the magician and 2 high priestesses, the hanging man and high priestess, or the magician and the fool. So the messages were coming up, pi was coming up. So pi is also reflected as the circle with the line down the middle, which is perfect balance, right? Not doing the dance yet, but it is the human embodiment of source, very balanced. And then the twin flames, perhaps dealing with a younger sibling or the one they consider the king, expanding their office, and the Queen of Cups with time out, Sophia being key regarding being a saint or on that path. The key is the time out, or the time out to source, either connecting up to source or to source your twin, acting manager or Mary Magdalene cave with the Queen of Cups, and time out from the path. Again, time out to hang up their hat, perhaps in exile of the Queen of Cups, toggling up on her path. Perhaps to teach or propose something, time out to source surrender, to deliver or make a delivery or receive a delivery, confide and trust or leave behind, perhaps 5 offices, being clear of heart in order to then get on your path. And the code line was all about the number 5 today, which has to do with change, freedom, and expansion. And the Hierophant, of course, which is all about commitment and societal norms, to the powers that be. What's typical? How do we see God as a collective, or how your society is said, right? Because each society is totally different in that respect. So we start this read with transition, or the death card upright. And beneath that 5 cards down, because I pull 5 extra cards before the read and 5 after, making it a 21 card read, which is completion with the world. So below the transition or death card, from the bottom up, was the 3 of Swords and the 10 of Cups and the guidance all reversed. And then the Wheel of Fortune upright along with the Chariot upright. So healing an unhappy family or ending of an emotional cycle that's overdue with no guidance and destined to move or travel or ascend through that transition portal. And ending a death or dark night, transformation, emotional dissatisfaction due to no growth of the family, or frustrated with no creativity or creatively blocked, unable to understand, present without options to present to the Queen of Wands reversed, or no options with the Queen of Wands reversed. After falling short, the King of Wands is upright, recovering sick people or people who are drained. The Emperor reversed and Hermit reversed and the Queen of Swords reversed are all clumped together here, bleeding out in a betrayal of the horny devil perhaps, or perhaps their own codependencies. The Page of Swords message and standing up for themselves, or the King of Wands is recovering on vacation in need of sunshine, while the Emperor, Hermit, and Queen of Swords, all reversed, are in trouble for wrongful death, or a surgery perhaps that went wrong, or a painful ending, betrayal, or ending painful cycle that went on for a long, long time, or painful detox of the devil, or the monkey on their back, or the devil who could care less about another's pain or their codependencies, or the horny Batman with a mark on his head, or cutting your grass, perhaps a dark employee, at a country house or ranch, or a message about 2 in prison, or chained up underground, or on work release, or a man who abuses women, or takes tickets to see the show, the peep show, or looking in your windows. So the Emperor is reversed, out of control, with secret passion and third party, deception, or a boss with no intuition about their employees, whether they actually should be their employees or not, or new moon, deception, or up before dawn. And this was at 444, which is very angelic realms energy. The Emperor and High Priestess, both reversed here, leave the pumpkin patch at the new moon. And this was coming up as an icebreaker. At 446, which is the Emperor and the 6 of Cups, is codependency. And beneath codependency was reconciliation, where we have Taurus reversed, Leo reversed, Aries reversed, Virgo reversed, and Pisces reversed. But Libra was upright, Cancer also was upright, Scorpio upright, Capricorn and upright here. A lot of energy right here. And then the Knight of Cups reversed, which can be jealousy or rejection, or someone who's kissing your ass, with the Page of Swords leaning on the truth of no physical reunion in harsh split or a divide. Third party with a need for the whole truth to find peace. Addicted, someone may be addicted to sex, drugs, or they're like asking, is it addiction to sex, drugs, or love, right? It's always one of those. Arrested or rehab or history of love, or a negative event that they never got over. So it's like asking, what's the truth? Follow your dreams, 85, which is the reflection or the grounding of the 5D union. And then self-love was beneath that, was 61, which is about taking a risk to love yourself first. And then we have an unhappy cycle that's over, of the star and dreams, or healing, boldly moving or traveling to secret passion, or the Knight of Cups and the Page of Pentacles, getting married or committing to something. The Kermit with Peacock giving each other the eye, with love and marriage to be had, or green with envy, or can't get enough of their eyes. But there was a rat in the grass, spooking the horse, of course, with Aquarius, Cancer, and Taurus upright, and Pisces reversed. The Hierophant, marriage, religion, establishment, transitions, standing up for self, about deception, or one with Cancer in their chart, or the early bird that catches the worm, but no peace, a need to follow their dreams, or Taurus and Scorpio upright, standing up to the Cancer reversed in need of peace, until death do us part, and defending deception, and a need for peace and their dreams to come true. Manipulation to be free, with the Empress reversed and the Page of Cups reversed over it, but they're actually not, or the Empress reversed miscarried and is now over it, perhaps was trying to manipulate the Magician reversed to stay, but they're free now. And so the energy then coming up after this read was about being dumped or feeling in the dumps, overwhelmed, not leaving, and uncomfortable in those energies, with the Ten of Pentacles, family, business, or community, and the Knight of Swords, secret passion, frustrated at the workplace with dependence, or feeling powerless, or loss of money, power, and independence. Healing and destined to be free, to go back and offer time, money, and effort, or a new life, or pay off a loan, or perhaps give a loan, to dawning Empress upright, performing, or a distraction. So we have the Five of Pentacles reversed. Five of Pentacles reversed. Was that in the recent past? Yeah. Recovering from exile. Recovering from exile in the Mary Magdalene cave. The Hermit free from the Knight of Swords chasing them, needing to swallow their pride about a divorce, or a break away from a religion or establishment, or perhaps the country club, with the Queen of Swords reversed, seeing synchronicities of the Queen of Cups upright, and the Queen of Wands reversed, watching the Queen of Cups, who's focused on her heart and heaven in her eyes. The Queen of Wands reversed, completing a cycle and being strong to reap rewards, or caring for pets and her garden. Or the Queen of Cups is a Pisces or divine feminine, and the Queen of Wands is Leo or egotistical. And a constant gardener, just standing there watching the Hermit come out of the cave at 519, which is the Hierophant and the Sun. So we have the Queen of Cups upright here, and she's kind of surrounded by these other two queens, the Queen of Swords reversed and the Queen of Wands reversed. But she's got her back turned to them, doing her own thing. So the foundation here is at 520, which is the Hierophant and Judgment. The Two of Swords reversed, with new information of a death or transition at the new moon, awake and on the move, to recover or come back into the fold with the Ten of Pentacles, family, business, or community, with uncomfortable feelings to share or in settling out. The central energy here is the moon or Luna reversed, with Aquarius and or Taurus pissed off. That could be one person. They could be pissed off and confused at the workplace, spending what little there is left to go and start again, awake to the Queen of Cups upright, or Capricorn and Cancer both reversed, ending a conflict and in need of peace, to come full circle, to heal and forgive. Pisces is upright here as well. The challenge here is the Queen of Cups upright, perhaps being a Pisces or the divine feminine in Cancer season, ending soon, and Scorpio left behind. There's a lot of water right there. The Queen of Cups divorced, or alternative patient, angel of a higher love, or with Taurus reversed and Sag upright dumped, or pushed to their emotional limit by the King of Pentacles reverse release. Drained in need of sun, or too hot and coming clean, or cleaning up their act or space, not sleeping and rising, or awakening and coming out. The Page of Cups message of love with the Queen of Cups and or the Page of Cups both upright. The Six of Cups reversed though with sad memories, and the Page of Cups unable to express their emotions, in a losing battle with the Ten of Cups reversed, avoiding disaster or in the aftermath of the cleanup, without options, and the King of Cups upright with lovers, or the King of Cups and lover or Gemini is in a split with the King of Swords reversed in a heated exchange, or loving King of Cups is accusing the King of Swords reversed of being a liar, or vice versa. Now birthing through the Ring of Fire, the Hermit reversed, hiding and coming out destined, with the Empress upright and the Devil on fire at home, sharing or settling out with the Hierophant or Taurus, or paying the priest perhaps, chomping at the bit, sexy Capricorn Sag, as the Knight of Pentacles offering something to juggler or performer or distraction, with their eye on the Queen of Cups, betrayed by the Dark Knight, grieving loss, in the aftermath of the Hermit coming out about flame. Devil may be castrated while marking territory, and the King of Swords reversed, grounding and integrating, closing the distance gap, and needing to swallow their pride in order to get big love, and stand up to others about falling short, being a player or having been played, and reaping rewards now of clarity of the powerlessness and dependence on a lover, or clarity about a dependent lover. Big love at work, and Hatari Safari and splitting of the bills, or the bulls, so that can go both ways, boldly going where no man's gone before. Soon is the Star reversed with depression or loss of hope, or loss of health or arrogance. Insecure King of Wands, or released without their tools, trying to end the nightmare with patience, patient angel, or a higher love. The Queen of Pentacles frustrated but happy with self, or not dating because they're happy as they are. Coming clean, or the Page of Wands reversed, coming up arrogant. To be clear, the twin flames are seeing themselves as the Knight of Swords, passing 5D messages. The Page of Swords is upright, stepping it up and spreading the word about rejection and jealousy and schmoozers, or moody Cancers. Strong, taming the beast, or pacifying animals and focusing on self, as the Queen of Cups is sending love to those who have fallen out unfairly in a split with the King of Cups. At 551, which is the Hierophant and the King of Swords, there's or children here standing up to their parents, or older siblings, those in separation or divided. The Knight of Swords jealous of the Page of Swords, or both competing for their mother's love. Perhaps the mother focuses on the animals and not the children. Let go of control issues comes up for the twins, as well as release your ex and soulmate. Yes, this is them. Leo upright, Leo upright, Libra reversed, and lots of water here and air. Around the twins, or how they're seen, is no reason, no logic, or the Emperor reversed, out of control without a reason, dumping a load, a burden, or responsibility on the Page of Pentacles perhaps, with an opportunity, but not telling anyone, or delays in communication or travel. Homes surrendering to depression, or loss of hope or emotional health, and the block here being the Indigo reversed. Temptation, with a big offer to end the war, but no proposal. Environment, parenting, and financial disclosure here, or financial discipline rather, and that's financial discipline. That means finances are affecting your love life and you're allowing them to. Environment, parenting, and financial discipline, but even more so here is rebirth and spiritual partnership. Recovering without an olive branch from the Queen of Swords reversed, working to align with crystals and get their ducks in a row. Journeyman on their way to their soulmate with good news, moving in with lover perhaps after a split, with the King of Swords reversed, not telling or pissed off. Or working at home, reaping clarity that they were giving more than they had to give to their lover, and now working at home to surrender perhaps stuff to the Queen of Wands and the Page of Wands, both reversed, and leaving the wounded warrior or victim mentality behind. To work in peace, dumping all their burdens, after the Queen of Wands and Page of Wands, both reversed, dumped all their burdens on him. Destined to ascend through the portal with new clarity from the Knight of Swords, and no reason, or the Emperor stepping down, to recover from deception. Challenged by the Queen of Cups upright, with a loss of hope and no tools to cope, but strong in birthing process, to alignment and to align with work, in union surrender to the Queen of Wands and the Page of Wands reversed, and dumping a load off. Transitioning out of exile with the Hierophant, or Scorpio and Taurus, and clarity about imbalance at the new moon, or deception, or getting up too early. The block here being, or the challenge, is the Queen of Cups and her strength, or Leo, Sag, and Aries being aggressive here, and that came up yesterday with fire signs, that they may struggle a bit in this Cancer season until we get into Leo. The Knight of Swords message here of losing hope, with the Emperor reversed, out of control or going through ego death, or insecure and working at home, or in union to surrender to all that is, with the Queen of Wands and the Page of Wands both reversed, going back downstairs or demoted at work at 610, which is the Lovers, and a turn for the better. Here we had Scorpio upright, Cancer both upright and reversed, Leo or Sag upright, Aquarius and Aries reversed, as well as Gemini or Virgo reversed in the read. So Cancer season to Leo season, it's being highlighted here, the shift in the energies, from deception to the new moon to birthing, and 8-8, the Ring of Fire, graduation. The King of Wands is upright and good, but the rest of the fire signs are reversed. The air kids are good, but not their parents, and the water is great except for the Knight of Cups. All pentacles are good except for the King, and fire probably will do better once we're anchored into Leo at 6:15, which is my brother's birthday. Okay, so that was the message. Let's go ahead and pull a few clarifiers here, or rather oracle cards. So we have the Animal Spirit deck first. It's 4 o'clock on the dot on the nose, and then 42 on the nose here. That's weird. 4 o'clock with zeros behind it is a lot of source energy backing up the Emperor. And then 4200 is a lot of source energy backing up either the Emperor and the High Priestess, or the 42, which is the Two of Cups, the couple, which was definitely coming up in the Lenormand messages. Very heavily focused on the unions and the couples coming together. All right, so let's see what's coming up with these cards for the Animal Spirit deck. What is the message for the Twin Flames to take away today? Kind of a weird day today. It's kind of like, it doesn't feel like my normal reading day. I did some cleaning up around the house, and I had to do a couple 3D things. But it's kind of like that unsettled feeling, like, right, when you don't have a schedule, right, because that's focusing on an end point as opposed to being more journey-oriented. But then having like the energy falling back for a minute and feeling like you need someone to tell you what to do next, you know what I mean? That kind of energy. But it's just a little bit of 3D energy coming up, which we're just navigating all those things. So let's see what the Animal Spirit deck has to say. All right, so we have the elk here. And the elk has, the focus here is on their crown, right, with their antlers there. And it's like they don't want the focus on them. They want you to see what they've put on top of their head there, you know? Is it their hair, their hat? But anything that's really bright on top of their head is to keep you focused up there and not to focus on them, right? Them not wanting the people to really see them. They want them to see what they're putting out there that's matching the sun. It's matching the 3D energy. You know, this is all lower chakra colors here. And then we have the dragon here who's keeping an eye on them, right? Someone's trying to distract them from looking at them. They're trying to give them something to look at so they won't notice what's going on with them, or they won't come bother them. The elk and the dragon. This is very interesting. And again, this is coming up as like the abduction energy as well. Like not wanting to give them something to focus at, like wanting to be seen as 3D. So they won't be bothered, right? Because it's like coming up the energy regarding, light workers feeling like they're a target because they're in the light by the dark. So they're like lowering their energies or projecting that anyway on purpose, a lower energy so that they won't be bothered. So they seem like one of the crowd. Kind of interesting the way it's coming up. We'll have to read those for you and see what comes up. We also have the camel coming up again, which is very independent. And again, there's that Cancer energy of the blue moon near the new moon, which we're still near the new moon here. Again, being in that Cancer energy, being very depressed and being blue. And this is also someone who's naturally independent, but they're just feeling a little bit blue because of the Cancer energies. And then there's one more bunch that's coming up here. So these two are coming up somewhat together. And then we have the sea serpent with it as well. And the zebra is very, got the third eye open in a very masculine energy with the right side up pyramid or triangle. Their third eye is open in a masculine way, but they go against the grain, right? Because all their stripes are going against the background. But for its contrast, right? So that they can show up better. So there's the contrast. This one wants to be seen, right? They're showing themselves up against something that's contrasting so they won't blend in. And yet the elk is the opposite. It's like they're trying to show off their lower chakra colors. It's like they're doing the same thing. They're showing off contrast, but in a different way, right? This one's is giving contrast by using color, but in a lower chakra energy to show people that they're 3D, not 5D. Whereas the zebra is proud to be 5D. They're not afraid. They're just showing off who they are, and that's that. So again, there's both of those kind of energies, that there's maybe some fear in the light worker community of being their authentic self because of the dragon looking at them, whether that's, kind of reptilian energy coming up. So then we have the whale, who's the king of the sea, and very wise. It's so weird. What I'm getting here from this whale though today is I'm getting someone on a raft who's like not dead, but like near dead, floating on a raft in the middle of the sea. I'm actually seeing a spacesuit too. It looks like a space helmet right here. Like someone in a spacesuit who fell into our sea, and perhaps a whale rescued them, or they found a raft or some kind of floating device to lean on. Was there somebody found at sea? Because that's the kind of energy I'm getting right here. But I'm getting like someone in a spacesuit, which could be, an ET. Very interesting. There's also the energy of the underwater secret hideouts, for the Greys replicating. It's interesting too because there's an underlying energy here of the pink. This is actually pink, like magenta color, but up here is very blue and gold, which is very balanced and centered. But this is someone's in survival mode, right? This raft rescued them. Four and the reds have to do with safety and security, not so much magenta, but that's what I'm getting, like by the grace of God, the lower chakra energy was brought down along with compassion to rescue them. And I'm even seeing like the grain here over here is reptilian right here. I don't know if you can see it. You see that? There's some white in there. Now I can see it better, but this looks like lizard skin right here. It's like saying in the shadows, That's really weird. There's something going on about this sea. The sea. And then we have the sea serpent, which again is this is the sacral chakra. And again, here's the contrast against the very balanced energies of the blues and greens, right? The throat chakra and the heart chakra, and even some indigo up here, so more towards the upper chakras here, with the eye open, but where's the rainbow, right? Because I always talk about the rainbow bridge sealing because the snake isn't sealed yet right here. I don't know why this is coming up, because the snake has come up sealed many times. So it keeps like being sealed and then reopened again, sealed and reopened. And it needs to be sealed permanently. Someone's sneaking back in. Like if a portal's been closed off, someone keeps finding a way to reopen it again. And it looks like it's something in the sea where they have their secret hideouts. And one of the secret hideouts I got was next to Estonia, right at like a major military port at Estonia. I was seeing girls being abducted there, and literally a ship under the sea right there near Estonia. I don't know exactly where under the sea, but I was definitely getting something there. I don't know why I'm being called to bring that up again, but I am. So, it's something, an area needs to be sealed off. There's something to do with a rescue here. Whether it's a whale or not, I'm seeing a guy in a spaceship, a spacesuit, who fell onto this raft or found a raft and survived in the ocean after, I don't know how they got there, but yeah, if you heard any news about something like that, let me know. Zebwa. I'm thinking of, is there an African country like what am I trying to say? Something Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe? I can't think of what it is. And again, the sea serpent. There's something going on in the ocean here. I feel like the zebra's coming up because that's what I'm telling you about this stuff. And there's reptilian energy here. I don't know if it's just the grays or the reptilians. Ziwasi? Wasa? Zimbabwe? There's something about that. Yeah, let me know if you hear anything in the news, because I don't watch the news at all. I'm going to have to read you some of this. The bottom of the deck here is the wolf, and he's being very neutral. He's got some lower chakra energy here, which is kind of like dazed and confused, which is kind of the energy I was describing today, just being a little like not knowing where to go, like wanting someone to lead you. Tell me what to do. Lead me to your master. So that's coming up here too. And we have transformative energies just below the wolf. Then the wolf is the leader of the pack, right? They have to stop telling their kids what to do and allow them to be independent, right? There's kids here transforming and needing to leave the nest. And the wolf may be stunned about that. Like they don't know how to take it with their kids. That could be as well. So the wolf is coming out first because look, here's the wolf and the underlying energy, and the elk may be one of their kids. And where the wolf hid all this stuff, like they had it, but they were hiding it, it wasn't acceptable for others to see, their child is now proudly prancing around with that. And that could be like, look at the wolf's look at the wolf's face regarding that. Like, it's like they're horrified, like, oh my God, I'm speechless. What do I do now, right? So where they might have done something in secret, but it wasn't okay to put out there, now the child or a partner, whoever, is now putting it all out there and highlighting it. This could be highlights too. It could just be a kid, like a parent who doesn't believe in letting their kids color their hair, and the kid came home with, you know, like bright red hair, like the color of the sun, and somebody's stunned. And then we have, this is all the, he's the underlying energy. So there's somebody transforming right before his eyes, and he can't believe it. He's speechless, or she. Speechless. Okay, so both. Here we have reptilian energy right here. It's like they're among you, and you don't even realize it. They're among you, you don't even realize it. The gate keeps open. It's been sealed already multiple times. I don't know why it keeps opening. This card shouldn't be coming up like this. And you notice all three of these guys are all looking in that direction. Here's the wolf. And the three of them. I'm getting that song. What's that song? Is this my family? Am I in the right place? Do I know you? Yeah, it's really interesting. And also it's like these three are all of a sudden they're coming to the fox. I mean, the wolf. Maybe it's a fox. It's like it's like where before they would never listen to them. All of a sudden they're coming to them for advice, and they're like, huh? What? You don't listen to me. And now all of a sudden they're coming back for their advice, looking for them to lead them. Oh, well, wait a minute, you never listened to me. But it's also that energy of you need to figure this out for yourself. Yeah, I don't know what to say. That's what I'm getting. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. They're waiting for him. They're obviously waiting for them to say some words of wisdom, but they're stunned. They don't know what to make of this. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, let me know what you're getting from that stuff too. The leader of the pack. The leader of the pack. I'm getting alpaca. You guys got to help me here with putting some of this together. Zimbabwe, alpaca. I don't know why this stuff is coming up, but it is. There's definitely some depression with the camel and the whale. The independent bluesy one, the camel, is fiery energy normally, but they're bluesy. So like I said, the fire sign, they're having a rough time in Cancer, in the season of Cancer. And they're looking for guidance from the wolf. So the newbies, it's like the newbies, the ones who have just freshly transformed or just freshly awakened, right? Or kids who are just graduated and not knowing where to go, or going to the wolf. And the wolf is dazed and confused. So then we have these three, and I feel like the wolf wants to consult the zebra because they're more comfortable with this. Maybe they're not sure. And they go to it's like they cross a bridge to connect with the zebra, who they normally wouldn't connect with. But they know they have bigger connections, like the whale and the sea serpent, connections to the ocean, emotions. And this could be too, like a father with girls, who want to do things with their hair and all these girly things that they don't get. And maybe they're by themselves now and they don't know what to tell them, or yeah, there's some kind of interesting stuff there. Let's see what the elk says first. So the wolf is about being the leader and needing to not push their agenda on their kids, but I feel like it's the opposite right now. They're stunned. They don't know what to make of this. And then we have the elk, who's in earth energy. And the elk is stable, resilient, headstrong, and father, okay? So the great elk represents the earth element in its masculine form. And this could be a son, like a grown son whose father's all of a sudden coming to him for advice, who never comes to him for advice. The great elk represents earth element in its masculine form. It means it provides underlying support and stability amidst life's many changes. An elk personality, whether male or female, is fully established in themselves and knows their core values. They become known and respected for acting in ways that uphold those values. Sometimes the elk's ego can become inflated, but for the most part, they make damn good fathers, mothers, lovers, and friends. The world needs more elk energy. But when they're in balance, they're supportive, kind, and consistent. But when they're out of balance, they're pretentious, high, and mighty. To get back into balance, they need to eat and drink more consciously. So that may be the answer that wolf needs to give this elk. But I feel like this could be a father coming to their grown son for advice, along with two others that would never normally come to them because they're older than them. Or just someone who's usually really egotistical and never asked the wolf for advice. And now all of a sudden they're coming to them for advice. And they're like, well, what? What? You want my advice? So I have to read the dragon, because that was the second card up. And there's definitely energy. And this is very spiritual, so there's not going to be anything negative about the dark energies, because this is a spiritual card, but it's still bringing up the reptilian energy. So seeing one's most true self and balancing the ego. The dragon sees everything. Its essence has been with us since before our first breath and will be there at our last. It watches us navigate the external world as well as our inner world. When the dragon energy is awakened, we are courageous, visionary, and can easily drop into witness consciousness. It's almost as if we are traveling with a great friend inside of ourselves. When we look in the mirror deep in our eyes, we may even glimpse the self behind the self, the one who is watching us. This is the power of the dragon breathing transformative fire into every cell of our bodies. Witnessing this omnipotent energy, even for a brief moment, helps us surrender and let go. We let the dragon guide us. We hop on its back for a ride, and as we transverse even the most difficult terrain, the dragon's eyes see beauty everywhere. It is said that if a yogi does not see the beauty in the world, then their Agni is dim. It is described as the inner fire or sacred intelligence. May even just the mention of the dragon stir the embers of intelligence within you. Very interesting. I'm getting magenta pixie too here, because she's dragon and she's got really red hair like the elk. So for some reason I'm getting magenta pixie coming up. I don't know why, but I am. And then let's see why the sea serpent's coming up, because that's the sacral chakra. So we have the third chakra is the dragon, and then we have the sacral chakra. So, and again, this one shows a picture of the snake not fully closed. Healing emotional wounds and expressing desires. So the sea serpent represents the energy of expression. Whether it's emotions, creativity, sensuality, or desire, the sea serpent helps us move and direct our energy into a healthy current. When the essence of this card is in balance, we express ourselves creatively and sexually without fear or shame. We know what we desire most. Our hearts are now at ease and our relationships are meaningful and enduring. We loosen the grip of self-judgment and we let the cool waters of forgiveness in to heal our wounds. When the energy of the sea serpent is not yet activated, our emotions and creativity are left in the muddy waters. The current of expression stagnates in some areas of our lives, and in other places it floods. It's important to remember, no matter what the waters of our emotional lives look like, the sea serpent loves us just the same. Like a mother, she wraps herself around us. In a gesture of protection, she supports us as we learn to express our true natures. So the message I'm getting right away when I'm reading that, regarding the serpent not being sealed yet, right, is not trusting self. Because this is, you're talking about your higher self, trusting your higher self. And so you'll trust your higher self 1 minute, and then when you get into 3 energies, all of a sudden you don't believe, what you knew a minute ago, right? It's like that doubting Thomas type of energy. And again, the doubting Thomas energy is why this ET, for some reason, got caught in the 3D world somehow. Yeah, it's weird. And the whale is just going to give you wisdom energy as well. With the desire to delve deeper, profound peace, and ancient wisdom. So the ancients are coming up here again, and the Somalians were coming up, or Sumerian, not Somalians, but the Sumerians of ancient history, which had to do with the abductions. Because the abductions that were being recorded in 2000, the abductors were speaking in Sumerian. Because they had another psychiatrist translate it for them. So desire to delve deeper, profound peace and ancient wisdom. The whale represents profound emotional health and stability. Whale personalities are not afraid of emotional expression or traversing difficult terrain, as they've overcome many challenges in their lives. These experiences have enriched them, given them stability, strength, and a depth that is rare. Whale energy is usually linked to the feminine forces of compassion and communication. We can depend on the whale personalities when all else seems lost and trust them to be the beacon in our darkest hour. So this is literally a whale like rescuing, allowing someone else to just collapse on them, because they can carry the weight, they can handle it. Okay, so the beacon in our darkest hour. So when in balance, they're calm, steady, deep, and compassionate. When the whale's out of balance, they feel heavy and they slip into the old story. So again, that's what I just brought up around being in 5D and slipping back into 3D. And to bring into balance regular self-care. Okay, so just, whatever you haven't done today or yesterday, remember to bring that back into balance. Okay, so that's very interesting. So we have a very strong father elk who could be conceited at times and overbearing at times. And then we have the dragon, which is like your higher self. And then we have a camel who's very independent. All right, one who's very spiritual, one who's very 3D, and then we have the independent one who's more neutral. And the wolf is stunned because they don't know which one to believe. They're like, all three views are completely different. And this could also be three people coming to the wolf to settle an argument. That could be the blue and the red, right? No matter what side you're on in that. But the wolf is stunned. They don't know what to do. So anyway, there's a lot of interesting, confusing energy, which is the point, right? When you fall out of your 5D energy into 3D again, you get confused because what you believed a minute ago now feels alien. And it's a very uncomfortable energy, but it's okay. Just go with it. You might want to take a nap or meditate a little bit, and you'll come right back. Okay? That's just going into a little bit of fear that you're not sure where you are. A little disoriented, that's all. All right, so it's just practice, like anything. The more you practice the dance, that's why it's called a dance. Let's see what the Journey of Love has to say here. Dazed and confused. I don't know. It's like with people where people normally come to you and you have all the answers. It also can be with the wolf and the zebra, perhaps. I feel it's more about the wolf. I feel like the zebra is fine, but the wolf is confused. Of course, they normally have all the answers, and now they don't know. And yet, all these power players are coming to them for the answers, but they're more in they're in their 3D energy, so they're confused now. They're having a moment of lapse. So, what is from the Journey of Love? What do we need to know from this? Okay, nature. Gifts received. Go out in nature. Meditate, but also, go out and lay on the grass or take a walk, touch the flowers, see the orbs, look up at the energy around the sun. Gifts received is the 13, is transition, transformation, and just, again, have about of appreciation, a gratitude for all of the healthy things around you, the gifts that you've received. And then the next card coming out is the Temple, which is the 59 of the conflict, right? The 5 of Swords is the war within. So it's just the war within working itself out in the Temple between the masculine and the feminine, but in front of everybody, right? Working out your differences in front of you, pledging to each other. Why do people get married in public? They're pledging to each other, so there are witnesses that they committed to this. But this is also having your fights in public too. It's like that public forum that came up, that people have when they have disagreements within the family. They can go to the public square to have a talk with everybody, to keep it nice and, tempered with lots of different perspectives, so that no one person feels ganged up on. That's the energy I'm getting here. The gifts received. Oh, and then we have the Lovers too. They're coming out with the Mother Praise. So there's the praying mantis again, but also is very symbolic energy here of the notes and music. And the 15 is the devil, or the shadow side, but the shadow side of the upper chakras. And then we have the separation of the Lovers, which is coming up as the shadow side of the upper chakras is the separation. Because you can feel like you're in separation when you drop back into 3D again, when you're so pure and in your knowing, when you're in that 5D energy and connecting to your twin. So here's like the 3D energy and the 5D energy here. Focus on nature and people who are like you, who will understand, coming together in groups to help you work things out. And there's lots of people lined up here. They're lined up everywhere. And it's like the Statue of Liberty. Like I said, we're supposed to meet the Pleiadians at the Statue of Liberty. And I'm getting the oyster here too. Where am I getting that? That's literally the Statue of Liberty. I never noticed that in this card before. It's like nuptials at the Statue of Liberty. And allow things to happen naturally. Is there some kind of ceremony too? You know how the Statue of Liberty, the new one, the little one that went down to DC? Is there some kind of ceremony around that? I don't know. Is there some kind of ceremony at the regular Statue of Liberty? I don't know. There could be both of those things, but I'm getting it's more revolving around a public forum, a place where the starseeds can come and, you know, air out their differences or bring up stuff that they've been struggling with. So, you know, they can have other people's perspectives, right? Because nobody knows everything. And this is coming up not just online, but I'm getting more of a physical gathering of finding a group or a public forum where you can all be outside and just talk about things regarding flipping from 3D to 5D is what I'm getting. And back again. The bottom of the deck is Earth Angel, which is the 54 of the Page of Swords. The message, and I love the colors in this card because you really have a nice array of the rainbow. There's not a lot of purple in this card though. And that's the message of the cosmic butterfly, again, the transformation of leaving the wounded warrior behind. The very much mother energy of transformation, of course, because you're dealing with mother in the egg or the mother in the womb. And then, and the message, and I'm getting like, I want my blankie. Like, don't take my blankie from me. You know, when you have to separate a child from their bankie. That's what I'm getting here. The message of separating mother and child, right? The caterpillar becoming the butterfly, right? It's difficult at first, right? It takes some orientation, you know, some time to understand, to orient yourself. So let's see what Gifts Received says. So relax. It's okay to accept what's coming your way now. Gentle your soul, steady your heart. Even the most precious treasure can be received by you, and why not? Are you not built of the same stuff as that treasure, beloved? It's all love, after all. That's all there is. Enjoy, accept, and rest in the knowledge that you're being invited into a sanctuary of abundance. Peaceful rest and replenishment now. It's just time. This oracle holds a message for you. The universe is trying to get something to you. More abundance, more love, an answer to a prayer. Sometimes the healing comes in unexpected packages. Sometimes we try so hard to find the answer, exerting so much effort to receive, that we make things harder for ourselves than they need to be. So relax, have some fun, be at peace. Everything is working out just fine, and there's a nice surprise coming your way. The wind blows softly through grass in my open heart. Love unexpected. And I'm going to leave it at that. So yeah, comment below if you have anything to add, please. And make sure to drink your water, get your rest, get your joy, get your nature. Take a deep breath and rise and be love. Bye, guys.